Quadratic equations. So that's what we're working on today. First thing we want to look at is expanding brackets. So that is what a quadratic is. A quadratic is this little line with one bump in it. So we're only talking about one bump this time round, and this is our general equation. Okay, so like with linear, we have y equals mx plus c. For quadratics, we have this guy. And he is important to remember, so write him down. Okay, he'll come up important later. We will do things with him where the A, B, and C are important. But the first thing we want to practice is expanding brackets. So there's a couple of ways to do it. FOIL is one way. First, outside, inside, and then last. So that means we would multiply the first by the first, so x times x, then add on our outside times our outside, which is x times 4, inside times inside, 2 times x, then last times last. So we just follow the acronym. Then we make that look prettier, so x times x is x squared, 4 times x, 4x, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 4 is 8. Oh, that's a plus. Then because these are like terms, we can collect them further, and this would be our final expansion. Okay, so the other method is splitting your bracket. So we're going to split this bracket between our terms, take this first term, and multiply him by our second bracket, so x plus 10. Then we're going to take our second term and multiply him by the second bracket. And then that's just simple expansion. We've been doing that in linear. X times x, x squared, x times 10, 10x. Negative 3 times x, negative 3x. Negative 3 times 10, negative 30. Then once again we have like terms, so we can simplify it. X squared, then we got 10 minus 3, which is 7, minus 30. And that would be your expansion. Same sort of thing down here, but we have, a 2x times a 3x, which gets you 6x squared. Up here with surds, this is called a surd. We want to be able to do the same thing. So we've got our 3x times our second bracket, and our 1 times our second bracket. So that gives us 3x squared. Plus, when you times a surd by a number, it is literally the surd times the number. It's like using algebra, but we've got numbers involved. 1 times x, and then 1 times our square root. Now, even though these are like this, we can't add them straight away. You can take x out as a common factor and simplify it to x 3 root 2 plus 1 plus square root. But if you leave it like that, that is okay. So a couple of things to note. If you have square root of 2 times square root of 2, that's the same as writing square root of 2 all squared, which cancels the bits out, which just equals 2. So that's one good little note. So timesing two things with the same square root together gets rid of it, and we're good to go. The other note is if you want to add surds together, if we had 2 root 2 plus 3 root 2, we can do that. And that's 5 root 2s. But if you have 2 root 3 plus 3 root 5, that is as far as it goes. You can't get any simpler. Alright, then our last one here, I'm not going to do this actual expansion, but this guy, we know that is a square, so that's the same as writing 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And that's how you go. So then you'd be able to do your expansion. So just remember, you've got the square on the bracket, it is 2 lots of your bracket. So on your calculator, you can go Menu, Algebra, Expand in your calculating mode, and then you would just type your 2 brackets in. You need to make sure you have this big old bracket around both your little brackets, otherwise it won't do it. It won't understand what you want it to do, and you'll get an error mode. And these are the questions I suggest you do for expanding.